In today's show, I'll be breaking down the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as we're pumping back in the green. We'll also be discussing the latest with the Bitcoin price uptrend intact with hodlers 120% in profit. We'll also be discussing the Bitcoin block size hits a yearly low. Will this impact the Bitcoin halving, which recently happened on April 19th? We'll be discussing this. Also, breaking news: Donald Trump pushes for the USA to lead in Bitcoin. That's right. Trump says the USA must lead in Bitcoin to stay competitive, saying if not, other countries will surpass America in this critical Bitcoin domain. We're also going to be discussing Bitcoin's rising difficulty, pointing to $100,000 Bitcoin price action by this year's end, according to Timothy Peterson, the crypto analyst. We'll also be discussing Janet Yellen issues a serious $34 trillion warning as Bitcoin predicted to surge to that $1 million price tag. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show.
Oh my gosh, it's finally almost here. JV is going to talk to us. Crypto news is near. I can't stand waiting. There is no debating it. I waited all day, maybe I need a life, but Bitcoin is all I can think about day and night. Hurry, JV.
Let's go Bitcoin. We back at around that $65,000 mark. If you're just joining the stream, very important to smash those thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, and hit the bell icon to turn on all notifications. It's greatly appreciated. And if you could also repost this over on X, it's just a click away. It'll help get more eyeballs on the stream so we can help pump it up. You already know. Today is pod episode number 1675. I'm your host, JV, and it's June 19th, 2024. Hallelujah. Bitcoin back in the green and a pumping around that $65,000 level. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. You should be able to see Coin 360 here on your screen. Bitcoin hovering just above 65 G's. Ether back in the green. BNB, Solana, big gainer, Matic, and Near. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at $2.36 billion, with the Bitcoin market cap still under 1.28 trillion. We were above 1.3 trillion a couple of days ago, but unfortunately the recent dump put us back under, but it is all good in the hood. Checking out the top gainers in the past 24 hours, we got Fetch up 21%, Ajax up 21%, and Akash up 21%. Maybe 21 is a divine omen. Maybe the 21st on Friday will send Bitcoin parabolic. What are your thoughts? And also, which alts are you most bullish on for this particular bull? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles to get a visual perspective on the daily. Virtually everything in the green and pumping, which we'd love to see. Long overdue. Let's go. And zooming out on the monthly, unfortunately, overall bloodshed in the alt market. But Bitcoin's been maintaining, you already know. And checking out the crypto greed and fear index, we're back down to a 64, still considered greed. Yesterday 74, last week at 72, and last month at 70 in greed. So there you have it. Shout out Mark. He just gifted 5 memberships to the following: Erico, Chris, James Elsie, and Joe Buddy, as well as B Bitcoin. You've all been hooked up with a MicroStrategy membership of the channel. Thank you, Mark Wardlaw. That's very kind of you, and the gift that keeps on giving. Shout out Steve. He just gifted 5 memberships. We got From Eddie, we got Sharpie, Alex, Bocana, and Crypto Soul. You've all been hooked up with the MicroStrategy membership of the channel. On behalf of Steve, greatly appreciate that. Welcome all the new members. That's already 10 memberships gifted, because our community is the greatest, hence why we're the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Hands down. Just saying. So yeah, let's dive into a little Bitcoin technical analysis. Check out some of the charts. And again, welcome to all the new members. So yeah, headline here reads Bitcoin banana zone is next if these 3 indicators play out. And then we're going to dive into the live charts. I got them already lined up for you. So yeah, Bitcoin can soon enter a euphoric banana zone phase that could see the price surge. But crypto analysts say there first needs to be a reversal in 3 specific key trends, quoting the analyst here. Basically, it's the boring zone before the banana zone, said global macro investor. The banana zone is a term created by GMI founder and crypto OG Raoul Pal to describe a period of significant upward price movement. And we also have Crypto Quant, who believes that sustainable recovery will hinge on these 3 critical indicators turning around. And according to him, the IT tech Bitcoin miner selling needs to reduce, and it has only been increasing since the mining revenue dropped by 55%. Bitcoin miners have seen a major decline in revenue since Bitcoin reached all-time highs back in mid-March of roughly 73.8. And on March 11th, the block rewards and transaction fees revenue reached roughly 79 million on a daily level. However, according to blockchain.com data, it decreased approximately 56% until June 12th, currently sitting at 34 million at this time. The analysts also highlighted the need for increased stablecoin inflows given the absence of new issuances in the stablecoin market, which decreases liquidity and affects the price volatility. The amount of stablecoins held in crypto exchange reserves has decreased by nearly 10% over 2 months, currently standing at roughly 22 billion. Lastly, it's the outflows from the Bitcoin ETFs, such as those from Fidelity, Grayscale. They need to decrease as they are creating selling pressure for the king crypto. And according to the Farside data on June 18th, Fidelity and Grayscale had outflows of 83 million and 62 million, respectively. So we got Bitcoin right at that 65,000 level right now, down just 2% over the past 30 days, and it is down 12% from the all-time high achieved in mid-March. IT Tech believes this could be the market bottom. In fact, that was our poll on yesterday's stream, and most of you said that ultimately you feel we're going to drop a little bit lower, and then the second majority said that the bottom is already in. Now, altcoins have suffered more heavily, as they always do, when Bitcoin corrects. For example, Doge and Shiba experienced declines of 8%, 11%, and Solana was actually the 8%er, and Shiba was 16%, so go figure. And quoting Rec Capital, break this downtrend line and Bitcoin will initiate a price reversal. As he shares here, you can see that trend at roughly 65.5 in the chart. And I want to read to you some insider info from Max Kaiser. This was at the Bitcoin Miami conferences, I think a couple of years back now. It may have even been 3 years. It's been a minute. But this was my favorite speech ever given when it was Michael Saylor and Max Kaiser live on stage in Miami. And he gave us some backstage info. First of all, he said, Michael and I looked at each other. He was wearing all black. I was all white. So far, so weird. First sight. Saylor was asking me what we were going to talk about. I kept saying, don't worry, it'll be fun. The stage manager told me as we were walking on stage to cut it short by 5 minutes. I screamed to him, F off. So my energy shot up suddenly. I scribbled, F Elon, we're not selling on a slip of paper and walked on stage. Is the most epic thing because he does scream that. F Elon, we're not selling. I love Max's energy personally. Always gets me so lit and so hyped up. But nonetheless, I promised some live pump watch info. This is the live chart right now. You're looking at the 4-hour chart brought to you by TradingView via Coinbase. So this is live and in the flesh. We have a target sitting at 72,000 to the north, and we have a target in the south sitting at $60,500. Again, this is the 4-hour chart. Personally, my favorite chart. A lot of action happening right here. Let's also maybe zoom out and check out the daily chart to get a broader perspective right quick. And as you can see on your screen, on the daily chart, we do have 2 targets, one to the north, sitting at 106,000. Now we're motherfucking talking. J to the motherfucking Danger Mouse V just got channeled as soon as I saw 106,000 target. Good Lord. And of course, though, we have a target all the way down to 29,000. But again, this is the 1-day perspective. Let's zoom in some. Let's go to maybe the 1 hour. Give me a second. We'll pull up the 1-hour chart just to get some different perspectives of the charts. We do have a target to the north sitting at 72,000 and a target to the south sitting at 61.8. And we're going to zoom in a little bit more on the 15-minute. And the 15-minute is busy. A lot happening right here. The biggest target north is sitting in the green, is sitting at 67,360, which is an inverse head and shoulders. We have a red target also sitting at 65,915, not too far from where we're at. And then we do have some targets south, including the lowest one is a head and shoulders at 63,754. So there you have it. Crypto fam, where do you feel the Bitcoin price action is likely to take us for this fabulous month of June? We only got less than 2 weeks left, so holla at your boy. Anyways, guys, keep the comments flowing. We're going to dive into our next story of the day. Discuss the latest with this Bitcoin uptrend. The headline here reads, Bitcoin price uptrend intact with hodlers. Oh, snap. I think we just read this particular one. Did we? No, we did this one. Let me see. I get confused. No, we didn't do this one yet. So let's discuss this one next. Bitcoin is still largely profitable despite months of sideways Bitcoin price action. In fact, according to Glassnode, their week on-chain newsletter they just published, it dispelled myths over investors' unrealized losses. Bitcoin may be trading within a rigid corridor, but the majority of the hodlers are not seeing a return on investment evaporate as a result, summarizing the current price behavior for the biddies as establishing equilibrium. Glassnode pointed to multiple on-chain metrics showing Bitcoin in a period of consolidation, not capitulation. Quoting them here. Sideways price movement tends to manifest as investor boredom and apathy, which appears to be the dominant response across all the Bitcoin markets. Bitcoin prices are consolidating within a well-established trading range. Investors remain in a generally favorable position with over 87% of the circulating supply held in profit with a cost basis below the spot price. Congrats to all my Bitcoin hodlers in the green, which is the majority of the market. Now, using the market value to realized value metric, researchers showed that on aggregate, a given amount of Bitcoin is still up by more than 2 times or 120% versus its purchase price in the US dollar terms. The 1-year average value of the MVRV is currently sitting at 86%. The MVRV ratio remains above its yearly baseline, suggesting that the macro uptrend remains intact, as shared here by Glassnode, as we can see here in the chart. Now, the newsletter's mood contrasts with some of the more panic reactions to this week's Bitcoin price drop. Traders are wary of support trend lines disintegrating, the multi-month lows reappearing as a result. And amongst the most important lines in the sand now on the radar is the aggregate purchase price for Bitcoin speculative investor base, the so-called short-term hodlers. The latest data from Statistics Resource looking to Bitcoin puts the short-term hodler cost basis at $64,000. And despite seeing unrealized gains fading, the short-term hodler entities themselves are not preparing for a massive sell-off at the current prices. Quoting Glassnode, at present, short-term hodlers are sending around 17,400 Bitcoin a day to the exchanges. However, this is markedly lower than the peak of 55,000 plus Bitcoin per day recorded as the market hit the all-time high of 73.8 back in March, where speculation levels were becoming excessive. So there you have it. Fam, I've personally have no doubt that we will witness a legitimate Bitcoin supply shock sometime later this year. There's a very minimal amount of Bitcoin left on the exchanges. There's probably ballpark 2 million. That can dry up very fast, especially with the institutional FOMO like a mofo with these ETF inflows. So you already know. But anyways, fam, next story of the day, let's discuss our next headline. You should be able to see on your screen. Bitcoin block size hits a yearly low. Will this be the impact of the Bitcoin halving? Well, let's discuss it. The Bitcoin network experienced a significant decline in its average block size and transaction rates, coinciding with the fall of the price, hitting a new low of roughly 64,000, which we tapped yesterday. The drop in block size, the measure of the transaction data included in each block, indicates a sharp fall in Bitcoin blockchain activity, which hit a yearly low on June 7th. The network's transactions per second, which is the TPS rate, simultaneously declined in June, indicating a reduction in activity and potentially reduced miner profitability due to the decreased post-halving Bitcoin block rewards. That's right. The Bitcoin halving event occurred April 19th. In fact, we streamed live to usher in the Bitcoin halving. How many of you were on that live stream? It was pretty lit let me know. And I'm looking forward to many more live streams for historic events here in Bitcoin. And we are going to continue to do the pump watches when we re-enter price discovery as well, family. Those are always pretty lit. So yeah, in April, the reduced block rewards by 50% for the miners, effectively decreasing the profits and incentives to contribute to the blockchain activity, reaching highs of around 28 TPS and lows below 4.5 through June. The average TPS at this time is 9.12, as you can see here in this chart. And despite the current state of the Bitcoin blockchain, the performance of the Runes minting market provides further insights into the Runes ecosystem and the network as a whole. According to an X post from Leonidas on June 19th, the Runes minting market remains profitable and reflects continued strong user activity on the Bitcoin blockchain. The secondary market performance of the top 10 largest Runes mints has ranged significantly from a low of 82.76% to a high of, good lord, like what is that, 1200%, indicating continued strong market activity. The recent drop of the Bitcoin price and coincidental fall in network activity could just be the start of a prolonged correction. In fact, Rec Capital recently discussed the potential continued correction of Bitcoin forming clusters of price action near the range high resistance to 71,600. And according to the analysts on June 17th, Bitcoin was getting very close to retesting the 64 and 62.5 levels. Well, we did test 64 and gratefully we bounced and we're back at 65, but we didn't get to retest 62.5. These gaps represent areas of the price chart where noticeable differences can be seen between the closing price on one day and the opening price the following day. And oftentimes Bitcoin will close those gaps, which are typically created in the futures charts, just FYI. So there you have it, crypto fam. Let me know if any of you have experimented with any of the NFT tokens or projects on the Bitcoin blockchain, specifically Runes, let me pronounce that correctly, or any of the BRC20s, ordinals, etc. Let me know. So yeah, this headline reads, Donald Trump pushes for the USA to lead in Bitcoin. That's right. And this is brought to you by Bitcoin Magazine. Former President Trump is doubling down on his pro-Bitcoin stance, arguing that the USA must lead in Bitcoin and crypto or risk falling behind. Trump has emerged as a vocal Bitcoin advocate while campaigning for the 2024 election. Trump became the first U.S. president to accept Bitcoin Lightning payments and oppose central bank digital currencies. On the campaign trail, he has promised to keep regulators away from Bitcoin if elected. Regulators! Mono. Yesterday in Wisconsin, Trump further declared he will end Joe Biden's war on crypto to secure America's future. He had a new comment that he will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in America. Otherwise, other countries are going to have it. Good point there. So as you can see here, Trump says to further secure America's future and create opportunity for the young people, I will end Joe Biden's war on crypto. We will ensure that the future of crypto and the future of Bitcoin will be made in America. Otherwise, other countries are going to take over the world. This market marks a shift. Trump explicitly states he wants the USA to lead in Bitcoin. Otherwise, rivals will surpass it. Trump's embrace of Bitcoin reflects Bitcoin's game theory. As Bitcoin grows too popular to ban, politicians realize they must support it into the court for Bitcoin-friendly voters. The USA risks falling behind in the technological and financial race if it shuns Bitcoin and crypto innovation. Trump understands the USA must lead in this critical new domain. Whether sincerely supportive or opportunistic, Trump grasps Bitcoin's political capital. He knows backing Bitcoin can win votes while attacking its risks, alienating a passionate base. Other nations are pursuing pro-Bitcoin policies to attract economic growth and talent to stay competitive. America must become the welcoming hub for Bitcoin and crypto developments or get left behind. It's one of the two. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Trump is sincere with his stance on Bitcoin? He also claimed to pardon Ross Ulbricht, who is currently serving 2 life sentences as the founder of Silk Road. Let me know your thoughts, family. I appreciate it. Let's go, regulators.
To let it get me involved in that sell on the dip crowd, sell on the dip crowd, dip sell, dope sell, no sell, no Bitcoin sell. I'm no sellout. Bitcoin. Roger out, Roger out.
Anyways, next story of the day, let's discuss a Bitcoin pump to 100,000 before the end of the year. And then we'll discuss the latest with a million price projection. And, you know, this Janet Yellen story, actually quite hilarious. I find her the most hilarious person there is. But anyways, I digress. Our next story of the day, Bitcoin's rising difficulty points to 100,000 value by the end of the year. That's right. Timothy Peterson highlighted the importance of Bitcoin's growth rate and difficulty as a potential indicator for a surge in its price amid a sharp correction in recent days that led to the price drop below 65,000 for the Bitty. That's right. Peterson suggests the network's expanding difficulty, a key metric that measures the computational effort required to mine new blocks on the blockchain, could pave the way for Bitcoin to reach $100,000 by the end of the year. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that six-figure sentiment. Now, Peterson noted that Bitcoin's difficulty is a vital aspect of its decentralized nature, automatically adjusting every 2 weeks to maintain an average block creation time of approximately 10 minutes. It functions as a self-regulating mechanism responding to changes in the number of miners and their computational power. When more miners join the network, the difficulty increases, and when miners exit, the difficulty decreases. This ensures that no single entity can manipulate the network's operations. Fact. And the stronger the difficulty gets, the more difficult it will ever be to hack the network, which makes Bitcoin the most unhackable network in existence, meaning the most secure network to secure your data, family. This correlation between the Bitcoin difficulty and the price is significant for the analysts. As the difficulty rises, the energy cost per mined Bitcoin also increases. And the more the haters try to attack the Bitcoin network, the stronger we become. That's right. Peterson further argued that miners must balance their electricity and hardware expenses against the potential rewards. When the Bitcoin price is high, it justifies these costs, making mining profitable despite escalating difficulty. Conversely, a price drop may compel some miners to exit the network, reducing computational power and subsequently lowering the difficulty level. Peterson also noted that Bitcoin's difficulty is more than just a technical metric. According to the analysis, it holds intrinsic value for the crypto, similar to how commodities gain value through the resources required for extraction. Each Bitcoin represents a quantifiable amount of effort and energy expenditure. Moreover, higher difficulty signifies a more secure and resilient network, as increased computational power fortifies the blockchain. This heightened security instills confidence amongst investors, driving demand and potentially boosting the Bitcoin price action. And according to Peterson, a symbiotic relationship exists between the Bitcoin price and difficulty. Higher prices attract more miners, leading to an increase in difficulty. This in turn further supports higher prices. Conversely, higher difficulty and associated costs drive miners to improve efficiency, which in turn supports higher prices. As the network strengthens, the market continually seeks an equilibrium where Bitcoin's price offsets the energy costs miners incur. And considering these intricate dynamics and current market trends, Timothy Peterson offers a reasonable year-end price estimate range for Bitcoin, projecting between 60 and 90,000. And additionally, energy costs serve as a floor price for the biddies. However, the potential for increased adoption and positive market sentiment could propel the price even higher, potentially reaching that significant milestone of 100,000 per coin. So there you have it. In fact, he actually shared this long tweet with a lot of details, and I'm just going to read you the top. Growth rate and Bitcoin difficulty signals potential surge to 100,000 by the end of the year. This is coming from Timothy Peterson. That's the gist of it, what I really just read to you. So we'll end it there. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Do you think we can hit that six-figure milestone before the end of the year? And a reminder to join the Discord, discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. That way you can get notified when we actually have our fiesta, which means we're going to be celebrating here in Puerto Rico when Bitcoin smashes that six-figure level. And I'm looking forward to meeting you all. Now for our feature story of the day, let's discuss the Bitcoin price reaching that $1 million milestone. Recently, there was this headline in Forbes. Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, issues a serious $34 trillion warning as the Bitcoin predicted to surge to hit that $1 million price tag. That's right. So after one legendary trader predicted the Fed will restart its money printer later this year, we have the Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen had issued a serious warning over the spiraling 34 trillion US debt pile that some think could catapult the Bitcoin price to $1 million over the next 12 to 18 months. So let's break this baby down. Here we go. And this is Miss Yellen right here. She always looks dazed and confused. How many of you remember that movie back in the day? I remember when I was a kid. I think it was like Matthew McConaughey, but it was a pretty classic, epic movie. It's called Dazed and Confused. That just reminds me of Miss Yellen. I'm just saying. Yellen. Anyways, we have raised the interest rate forecast, Yellen told Bloomberg on the sidelines of a group of 7 meeting for the finance ministers and central bank governors in Italy. That does make a difference. It makes it somewhat more challenging to keep deficits and interest expenses under control. U.S. debt interest payments are forecasted to hit $870 billion this year, according to a recent analysis by the Congressional Budget Office, after soaring inflation pushed the Federal Reserve to hike interest rates at a never-seen-before clip in the aftermath of huge COVID-era spending and money printing. There is a massive hole, and there is a loss that has to be realized, according to Jack Mallers, the Strike CEO, the chief executive of Bitcoin payment app Strike, when he was recently interviewed by Anthony Pompliano, an influencer. I've been following Pump for a long time. I call him Pump. We know it's Pump. Anyways, that loss is going to continue through debasing the currency. Asset prices are going to go up. And what is the best asset and the best performing asset? What's the best money in human history? And so I think that has to be accurately priced. Mahler said he thinks people will be willing to pay $250,000 for Bitcoin as a result of the Fed money printing weakening the US dollar. And I agree with that. And we also have all this bullishness yet with Trump. But I'm actually going to fast forward and I want to dive a little deeper into specifically Jack Mallers' predictions, because I respect Jack a lot. He recently said Bitcoin can explode by up to 1,357%. So I'm going to be sharing this with you. This is again from the interview he did with Pompliano. I think we're still so early in the Bitcoin story. I am publicly on record saying I think Bitcoin hits $250,000 to $1 million per coin in this cycle. So now I am speaking the next 10 to 18 months. Mallers predicts that the U.S. government will be forced to turn on the money printers, which we all know is inevitable, on its record high $34.5 trillion debt. Mahler says that the ensuing currency debasement will provide the catalyst needed to send the Bitcoin soaring to its astronomical price target. Quoting him here, I think people would be willing to pay $250,000 for a Bitcoin based on the mess that I mean, there is a massive hole and there is a loss that has to be realized. That loss is going to come through debasing the currency. Asset prices are going to go up. And what is the best asset and the best performing asset? What's the best money in human history? And so I think that has to be accurately priced. He also goes on to share, people are too fixated on the cost of capital as far as rates. They need to be more fixated on the amount of capital, which is they are still printing dollars. It doesn't matter if the rates are 5.5%. It's still inflationary. And so for those reasons, how am I supposed to predict the most fixed asset in the history of mankind against the biggest effed up problem that central banks have ever had to try and solve? I mean, come on, 250,000 to 1 million. I feel super confident about that. Now, shout out to Jack Mallers and Pompliano. If you want to watch the actual interview they did together, check the show notes below the video in the description and let me know your thoughts. Do you feel Bitcoin will smash $250,000 and potentially even hit $1 million for this cycle peak? And by what year or month do you think that will occur? Now, a lot of us are firm believers that 2025 we reached the cycle peak, but time is yet to tell. We'll soon find out. Joined all channels, X, Rumble, and Discord. Thank you, Joseph. Greatly appreciate that. Welcome to the live Q&A segment of the stream. Let's go.
Woo. We back, baby. Bitcoins, shitcoins, or NFTs. There's no greater feeling than hitting that
Sweet what? Nippinator looking all cute right there.
Old time high in this bitch. Watch it pump to the sky. We just buy and get rich.
That is correct. That Mahler's interview with Pompliano was from a few weeks back. Facts.
Old time high in this bitch. Watch it.
All time high. I can only hope he is right. I know. So $1 million Bitcoin for this cycle peak 2025. What are your thoughts on that? I'm going to read as many of the comments out loud as I can. Janet Yellen is doing her job exactly the way they told her to. Precisely. That's why we don't respect her. She's just another puppet. The sideways time, she should be watering the petunias. Not my quote. JV, is your base still 220? Yeah, same, Serge. So my base for the cycle peak is 222,000, which would be the low bear scenario. And I'm still bullish that we can hit as high as 750,000. So my medium average would be in the 500,000 ballpark. Cycle peak 2025. What are your thoughts on that, family? Let me know.
Pump, baby, we just buy and get rich. Get right back. We back in the black. We back in the green.
780,000 with Trump and 250,000 with Biden. Is Mueller's pro-Biden? I've never heard him be pro-Biden or pro-Trump personally. So no, I highly doubt he would be pro-Biden. I highly doubt any Bitcoiner or Bitcoin purist would be pro-Biden. I highly skeptical of that. At least I've never met one. You want the Oompas, JBZ? Stick around.
Got the team all around me. We rowdy and causing scenes.
I think we can get there because it's going up forever. Amen. Unfortunately, Miss Yellen and I went to the same college. Are you kidding me, Jerome? Which college may that be?
Where you been? Grab a cup, baby. Come and take a sip. Oh my bad, yo, what's up? Man, you did it by the dip.
Come on now. You know why I like high school girls? I get older, but they stay the same age. Dazed and confused. Oh, snap. You're bringing back memories. That's a classic. That's hilarious. The trolls in here saying one president is going to be any different than the other with crypto are being snowed or just plants. Right on, Chris. Forever, Laura. 225,000 end of the year, 500 to 750,000 cycle peak, 240,000 to 475,000. But I am willing to stretch it to the bull side. I'm digging it. Keep the comments and predictions of flowing. Oh, Brown University, eh? Well, I kind of, in like hindsight, figured she went to Brown University because she's full of shit. I'm guessing Mueller's prefers decentralization. Yeah, facts. I think history will treat Bitcoin hold. The only person in crypto rooting for Biden that I'm aware of is Anthony Scaramucci from Skybridge Capital, and it's because he has a personal vendetta against Trump. He hates Trump. He worked for Trump for like 11 days previous term in the White House and allegedly or apparently got fired, and he's been on a mission to just tear down Trump. Like, he's the only person I see on my timeline on X that has, like, you know what I mean, in crypto, who is a believer in crypto, that wants Biden to win and Trump to lose. But I think it's due to the personal agenda. You know what I mean? I don't know why people call me bearish if we only do a 2x from the previous high. 140,000 Bitcoin sounds amazing. It will make me a millionaire. Well, amen to that, Dirty. I'm pretty confident there'll be millions of new millionaires birthed this cycle peak. And you're 100% right. A mere modest 2x is still 138,000 from the previous all-time high achieved back in November of 2021 when we tapped 69 G's, baby. And consider we're still below 69, so you still have a bargain to buy. This is post-halving. You already know what's going to happen by roughly this time next year. It's going to be crazy. There's not going to be any looking back, and you already know.